My sister stole our mother's house, emptied the heirlooms, left me with a $12,000 funeral bill, and disappeared. 7 years later, she found out I own everything she thought she took. Now she's blowing up my phone. You know what's funny? I always thought the worst day of my life would be the day Mom died. Turns out, it was the day after. The funeral was on a Sunday. Overcast, humid, with that wet grass smell that always reminded me of schoolyard mornings. I was in the second-hand black suit I'd bought 3 years earlier for a job interview I never got. It was tight around the shoulders now. My body had changed from stress and skipped meals, but I didn't care. I'd been taking care of Mom full-time for almost 2 years. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. If you've never watched someone go through that, you wouldn't believe how cruel the process is. I won't give you the medical play-by-play, but I'll tell you this, her voice changed near the end. It became smaller. Like she was disappearing a syllable at a time. Claudia didn't see that. She didn't hear Mom whisper my name at 3 a.m. for water. She didn't wipe blood off the pillowcases. She didn't know that Mom stopped recognizing her face in the final week. But she showed up to the funeral with fake tears and a real Chanel clutch. I watched her arrive from the steps of the chapel. Claudia, 35, full lashes, black silk blouse that didn't wrinkle when she hugged people. She hadn't come home in 3 years. Not even once. Not when Mom was diagnosed. Not for chemo. Not even for that week in the hospital when we thought it was the end. But here she was now, with glossy lips and those snake-like sunglasses on her head like a crown. She cried at the podium. Said things like, "My mother was my hero, and I just wish I'd had more time." I wanted to scream. But instead, I sat in the pew with my fists clenched and said nothing. Because that's what I always did. I stayed quiet while Claudia played the angel. After the burial, people filtered out. Some gave me soft hugs. Others just avoided eye contact. I must have looked like hell, cheap suit, hollow face, shaking hands. The only thing I owned in the world was the house. Mom left it to me. She'd made it very clear in her will. Said I deserved that much. Claudia came up to me while I was collecting the last stack of memorial cards. Her perfume hit before her voice did, a sweet, floral, fake. "You look tired," she said. "You did so much. Mom would have been proud." I didn't respond. My mouth was dry. She lowered her voice. I spoke to the lawyer. "I'll take care of the estate stuff, okay? You don't need to worry about a thing." That was when it happened. She reached out, touched my arm, and said it so gently, so lovingly, I almost believed her. "You've done enough, little brother. Let me handle the rest." I nodded. Because I was too tired to argue. Because I thought we were grieving. Because I thought maybe, just maybe, losing Mom had changed her. It hadn't. That night, I slept for 13 straight hours on the couch. I woke up with a stiff neck and the weirdest sense of peace. Like the storm was over. But when I went upstairs, Claudia's bedroom was empty. Her luggage gone. Her rental car was no longer in the driveway. At first, I figured she'd gone back to her hotel. Then I went downstairs. The jewelry box was empty. The heirloom silverware set Mom inherited from her mother? Gone. Our baby photos? Missing from the hallway wall. I sprinted to the office of Mom's desk, her papers, the safe. Empty. My phone buzzed. One new voicemail. "Hey. I know this might seem sudden, but it's for the best. You'll understand one day. There's a lot I had to take care of. I'll call soon." She didn't leave a callback number. I stood there in bare feet, shaking. The carpet under me still smelled like Mom's lavender oil. I called the estate lawyer. And that's when I learned what she'd really taken. The lawyer's voice was calm. Too calm. Like someone explaining a parking ticket. "Yes," she said, "your sister came by Thursday. She had the death certificate, the notarized documents. Everything looked in order." My ears were ringing. "What documents?" "She had your mother's updated will. Stated she was the sole beneficiary. We filed it. The transfer's already been processed." My throat closed up. "That's not possible," I said. "Mom changed the will last year. She left the house to me. I have the paperwork, well, I had it." There was a pause. Paper rustled. She submitted a newer copy. Dated 6 months ago. It hit me like a brick to the chest. I remembered that month. It was one of Mom's worst. She could barely sit up, let alone sign legal documents. She forged it. "I'm not here to make that judgment," the lawyer said. "But if you believe there's been wrongdoing, you'll need to contest it. And fast." The house has already been listed for private sale. Private sale. She hadn't just stolen it. She was already selling it. I hung up before my voice cracked. I ran around the house like a madman, checking drawers, flipping cushions, opening every cabinet and closet like she might have hidden something behind. I checked the back of Mom's mirror for the will. I checked the kitchen, under the sink. Nothing. She took it all. I finally collapsed at the dining table, Mom's table. I sat in her chair, stared at the cold teacup she'd left there 2 days before she died, and realized I had nothing. No family. No home. No proof. And that was when the doorbell rang. I opened it to find a courier in a red vest holding a large envelope. "Delivery for Mr. Leon Miles," he said, cheerful like this was just another Tuesday. I took it. Signed with a hand that wouldn't stop shaking. He walked off. I stood there, staring at the envelope with my name printed in bold font. Inside? A bill. $12,438.65. Final invoice for funeral services, casket, cremation certificate, obituary placement. Unpaid. I flipped through the pages, disbelief thick in my chest. Claudia hadn't paid a dime. Hadn't even responded to the invoice. She'd put my name down for the balance. The credit card on file had been declined. There was a note from the funeral director scribbled in pen on the last page. "Please call. We were told payment was handled by the family." I guess I wasn't considered family anymore. I stared at the kitchen window. Outside, wind was blowing the chimes Mom had always hated. Claudia had been the one to buy them. Now they were the only thing making noise in that silent house. I didn't cry. Couldn't. Instead, I stood up. Packed a duffel bag. Took what little cash I had, about $220, and a change of clothes. And I left. I didn't call anyone. Didn't write a note. Didn't tell a soul where I was going. I just walked out of that house, got in my rusted old Civic, and drove until my gas tank blinked red. I parked outside a 24-hour laundromat, reclined the seat, and watched the ceiling until my eyes finally shut. That night, I dreamed of Claudia standing at the foot of Mom's bed, holding a pen with a smirk on her face. The first 3 weeks after I left, I didn't feel human. It's strange what grief mixed with betrayal does to your brain. You stop existing in full thoughts. Just fragments. Places. Temperatures. Sounds. The slow hum of laundromat lights overhead. The smell of fried oil from the fast food joint next door. A ripped paper cup of vending machine coffee shaking in my hand. I didn't talk much. Didn't sleep well, either. But I watched. Listened. Absorbed. I found a job washing delivery trucks at a depot out past the county line. It paid cash. The owner, a man named Roy with grease under every fingernail, didn't ask questions. He needed someone who could work 12-hour shifts without complaining. I became that person. Every day, I scrubbed dried mud, sweat, spilled fuel from wheels taller than I was. Every night, I passed out in the back of my car with a space blanket pulled up to my chin and the glove box cracked open for air. Eventually, I saved enough for a weekly motel. A one-bed spot with buzzing pipes and cigarette burns in the carpet. But to me, it was a castle. And something changed there. In the quiet. I started reading again. Finance books, legal books. Anything I could find online. I learned about probate. Estate fraud. Asset protection. I read until my eyes burned and my phone battery gave out. Then I charged it and read more. I got a job as an assistant at a local property management firm after overhearing someone mention they needed a numbers guy and offering to do spreadsheets for free just to prove I could. I didn't have a degree. I had desperation. Within 6 months, I was salaried. By year 3, I had enough saved to invest in a duplex with a foreclosure lien. I fixed it up myself nights and weekends, plaster under my nails, paint in my hair. I lived in one unit, rented the other. And I kept going. By 30, I owned 6 properties. Nothing flashy. Just smart buys. Tight margins. Slow flips. I never told anyone my name in full. I started going by Leo instead of Leon. Dropped my last name entirely when I formed my company, Windwell Holdings. Clean. Generic. Untraceable. Claudia would never think to look. But I looked. Oh, I kept tabs. She had moved to Arizona after selling Mom's house, bought some Adobe McMansion with an outdoor kitchen and a plunge pool. Married a chiropractor named Daryl. Of course his name was Daryl. They ran a YouTube channel about couples alignment and hosted backyard wine tastings. I watched her clips sometimes when I couldn't sleep. She still smiled the same way. That lazy, knowing curve of the lip, like she was in on a joke and you weren't. She didn't know I was watching. Didn't know that with every video she posted, I took notes. Not out of spite. Out of study. And one night, I made a decision. I logged into a local real estate auction platform, Quiet, off-market properties, and bought Mom's house. It had cycled through 3 owners in 5 years. It was run down again. The front porch sagged. The lilac bush out front was dead. But I walked through it at midnight, the key still warm in my hand, and stood in the center of the empty living room with my eyes closed. The walls had changed colors. The windows were newer. But I could still feel Mom here. I didn't renovate it. Not yet. I left it as it was. As a reminder. And on the front step, under the broken porch light, I made a silent promise to the air. She's going to come back here one day. And I want to be the one who opens the door. It started with a Facebook post. Black background. White text. That desperate attention grab formatting older millennials use when they're spiraling but still pretending they're composed. Life comes at you fast. Prayers appreciated. Claudia. I hadn't seen her name pop up in over 2 years. I'd muted every account she ever touched. But an old high school friend had tagged me in the comments, saying, "Hey, isn't this your sister?" I didn't reply. Just clicked. Her profile had changed. No more poolside photos. No more sunset wine tastings or matching embroidered bathrobes with Daryl. No more motivational reels about healing through honest dialogue. Now it was tired selfies. Dark circles hidden under filters. Vague captions about new chapters and starting over. So I did what I always did. I got curious. I had one of my people at Windwell Holdings run a quiet search, public records, credit reports, anything we could legally access. Turns out Daryl had left. Not just left, evacuated. He took half the savings, cleared out the joint accounts, and filed for divorce with no prenup. But the real kicker? The house wasn't in Claudia's name. It was in his. And when the mortgage went delinquent, because of course it did, he sold it fast, cheap, and out from under her while she was on a yoga retreat in Sedona. By the time she got back, her key didn't work anymore. She posted about digital nomad life for 2 months, acting like couch surfing was a choice. Meanwhile, I bought the empty lot 2 houses down from our mother's house. Quietly. Anonymously. It was a good investment. She had no idea. Until she did. It happened one Monday morning. I was in my office overlooking Main Street, sipping the coffee I actually liked, black, burnt, unforgiving, when my assistant Kelly poked her head in. "Hey Leo," she said, "some woman's been calling all morning." "Claudette? Claudia? Says it's urgent." Like, 20 missed calls urgent. I froze mid-sip. She leave a message? Kelly nodded and handed me a yellow sticky note. Claudia's name, written in Kelly's loopy script. Underlined. Twice. And next to it. "I know it's you. Please call me back." "I'm sorry." I didn't react. Not outwardly. But something in my chest lit up. Not fire, spark. Cold electricity. I walked into my office, shut the door, and opened my call logs. 37 missed calls. 4 voicemails. Then 5. Then 10. I played the first one. "Leo? I mean, Leon. I just found out. About the house. About the company. Oh my God. I didn't know it was you. I thought you disappeared. Please call me. Please. Next. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to, everything just got so complicated. I thought you were okay. I thought you had support. I never meant to hurt you." The third one? Tears. Messy, hiccuping, breathless. She was crying like I had at Mom's funeral. And in that moment, I didn't feel joy. I didn't feel pity. I felt positioned. Like the final piece of a chessboard had finally been moved. And now the game could begin. I let the phone ring. All day. All night. Every few hours, another voicemail. Each one shakier than the last. She started leaving voice notes on social media next. Instagram DMs, Facebook messages. I didn't open them, but the previews were enough. "Leon, please, just hear me out. I didn't know it was your house. I wouldn't have gone back if I knew. They said the company who bought it was Windmill something. I googled it. Your photo was on the About page. You own Mom's house. You bought it back. You live here? Are you really back? She'd seen the mailbox, probably. I never put my name on it. Just the initials WMH. But she knew now. And she was spiraling. The next message was shorter. Leon. I need a place to stay. Please. I stared at the voicemail screen for a long time. 7 years. 7 years since she left me with a funeral bill and an empty house. 7 years since she took Mom's earrings, sold the piano, and vanished with a voicemail like some petty god leaving mortals to burn. Now she was knocking. I finally responded. One text. That's all. Meet me. 77, Willow Lane. Friday. 8 p.m., come alone. That was Mom's house. Our house. She replied instantly. I'll be there. Friday came fast. Too fast. I barely noticed the days pass. I cleaned the house only a little. Just enough to make it feel like a place that had been lived in by someone unbothered. Someone successful. Someone whole. I put on a dark navy sweater, clean jeans, a silver watch Mom had given me when I turned 18. The last real gift before the illness started eating her memory. Then I waited. At 8:04 p.m., a knock. I opened the door. And there she was. Claudia. She looked smaller. Not physically. Just deflated. She was wearing a heavy coat with thrift store buttons, hair tied back in a messy bun. Her makeup, minimal. No Chanel bag. No polished grin. She looked up at me with something close to awe. You really bought it, she whispered. I nodded. She glanced past me, into the hallway where our height was still marked in pencil near the stairs. Mom never let us paint over it. She started, then stopped. Can I come in? I let the silence hang just long enough. Then stepped aside. She walked through slowly, like someone touring a crime scene. Her eyes lingered on every little memory. The broken tile we'd always tripped on. The dent in the wall from the time Paul, the neighbor's kid, threw a foam sword too hard. She looked over her shoulder at me. I never wanted to leave it like that, she said. I didn't reply. I was scared, she added. I kept my expression flat. Of what? Me? She looked at the floor. Of being responsible. Of staying. She walked to the kitchen. Put her hands on the counter. The same counter where Mom used to stand and say, Claudia, if you keep lying, you're going to forget who you really are. I don't have anywhere else to go, she said softly. She turned around. And for the first time, she didn't look rehearsed. Just beaten. I know I don't deserve your help. I didn't think you'd ever forgive me. But I didn't know what else to do. And now you're here, and she paused, blinking, you're the only one who picked up. I stared at her. Then I handed her a white envelope. Her eyes flicked down. She opened it slowly. It was an invoice. $12,438.65. The funeral bill. The one she left me with. She looked up. You kept this? I nodded. I paid it. Tears filled her eyes. But not out of guilt. Out of recognition. That her past had been preserved. That someone had remembered. And that she no longer had control of the story. I don't have this kind of money, she whispered. I know, I said. Then I stepped forward, opened the door again, and motioned outside. Which is why you won't be staying here. She didn't move. I tilted my head. This house is for family. Her lips trembled. I am family. I shook my head. No. You were. And I closed the door. Didn't slam it. Didn't lock it. Just closed it. And on the other side, I heard her take a long, slow breath. Then footsteps. Then nothing. I stood behind the door after closing it on her, breathing slowly. Not to steady myself. To savor it. For the first time in years, I wasn't reacting. I was orchestrating. The next morning, I was at the bank. I had them pull every record from Mom's estate, the old will, the transfer Claudia submitted, the forged signature. I didn't have the resources back then to fight it. Now. I had an attorney named Daria, who specialized in exposing quiet frauds. When I laid the documents on her desk, she scanned them with a raised brow. This is bad, she said. For her. I'm not looking for money, I told her. Just proof. She tapped the forged will. So, you want it made public? I nodded. Fraud case? Yes. Even if nothing sticks long term. I want it on file. Something people can search. Daria grinned. Brutal. I didn't smile. The next thing I did was call my contractor. Gut the house, I said. Top to bottom. Except for one thing. The pencil marks, he asked. The height chart? Leave those, I said. We were going to renovate everything else. The cracked tiles, the old kitchen, the peeling wallpaper, all of it would go. But not because I wanted to move in. Because I had someone else in mind. See, I've been working with a nonprofit that places foster youth aging out of the system into stable housing. Quiet kids. Overlooked. Forgotten. Like I had been. I donated the house through Windwell Holdings. Quietly. The new owner? Dorothy Fielding, 19, student, part-time bookseller. About to be evicted from her shared apartment. She'll move in this spring. Claudia won't know. Not until the Mother's Day open house. Yes, I scheduled it that way on purpose. I know she still lurks on Facebook under a fake name. C. Fontaine. She likes city event pages. I've seen her fake profile pic pop up more than once. She'll see the ribbon cutting. She'll see me. But she won't be part of it. The final move? I posted a photo of the unpaid funeral bill to my old blog. No commentary. Just the envelope and the balance. Titled the post. The price of a goodbye no one paid for. People started sharing it. Quietly. Without names. But those who knew, knew. Our old neighbor, Mrs. Kalinsky, DM'd me. Your mother would be proud. Can I bring lemon bars to the open house? I replied with a heart emoji. I wasn't done out of spite. I was done out of design. Claudia left me with a debt and an empty house. I built a future out of both. The ribbon cutting was on a warm Sunday in May. Clear skies. The kind Mom used to call wedding blue. The kind that makes even concrete feel sacred. The house looked nothing like it used to. The siding was new, crisp white with slate trim. The porch had been rebuilt, wider now, with a swing and planters full of marigolds. The front door was deep green, exactly the shade of Mom's favorite teacup. Dorothy stood beside me, clutching a pair of silver scissors. She looked nervous. Is this okay? She whispered. You're home, I said, however you want to be is okay. She smiled like she wasn't used to hearing that. Behind us, people clapped. Volunteers. A local reporter. A few neighbors. Mrs. Kalinsky brought the lemon bars. Daria was there too, nodding to herself like she just closed another case. But I kept scanning the edges of the crowd. And then I saw her. Claudia. Hair longer now, pulled back. Cheap sunglasses. Clothes that used to scream money now just whispered regret. She wasn't close. She stood by the fence, pretending to be someone's plus one, pretending she hadn't read the press release 5 times under her burner profile. She didn't speak. Didn't wave. But I watched her eyes scan the porch, the door, the banner with the logo of my company printed on it. I saw the moment she noticed the height markings still carved into the stair frame. She flinched. After the crowd thinned, I walked the hallway alone. Dorothy was unpacking upstairs. I paused by the stairwell. Our names were still there, faint pencil lines, Claudia, age 12. Leon, 10. Mom had drawn tiny hearts beside each one. I added one more mark below. Dorothy, 19. And a fresh heart beside it. That was all I needed. 2 weeks later, Claudia left a card in the Windwell Holdings mailbox. It wasn't addressed. Just sealed. Inside, a folded note and a single photo. Us, as kids. Sitting on the porch. Mom in the background, blurry but smiling. The note read. You were always better at staying. I'm sorry I ran. I hope you find peace here. See? There was no return address. No phone number. Just silence. Which, finally, was perfect. Now I sleep well. I walk past the house sometimes, her house now, and see Dorothy reading by the window. Books stacked around her like bricks. I see laughter on that porch again. Not the fake kind. The real kind that echoes. The house has life again. Not memory. Life. And Claudia? I don't think about her much. Not out of hate. Out of distance. She once told me I'd understand someday. She was wrong. But I learned something better. You don't have to understand someone to leave them behind. You just have to outgrow the version of yourself that needed their love.